What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you tuning in. Today's topic is going to be something that I've kind of touched on in the past. I haven't gone down this sub-topic route. However, eventually I will break down the entirety of video games as an industry. So, video games, right? I would classify that there are two main groups with a bunch of subgroups underneath those two main groups. But the two main groups that I would give video games would be you have your casual gamers and you have your ranked gamers or your professional gamers or your gamers who are real gamers, I would say. Now, casual gaming does not, I'm not sitting here saying that you're not a real gamer if you only play them casually. I'm simply saying that you don't put in as much effort or necessarily care as much, right? So casual gamers, what are they? They're people who play quick match, people who play standard match, people who play story-driven games mainly, people who play online games, but in more of like the PvE sort of feel. There's no real player versus player. You're pitted into this ranked system with elo and the whole snowball tumbling down the hill. Okay, there's nothing wrong with casual gamers. The only time that I have problems with casual gamers is when a casual gamer ends up in a ranked scene where they do not belong. And they do good once or twice, and they seem to think that they are there for life. Ego players are something that I would subcategory underneath a casual gamer. You have an ego boosted guy who's played nothing but easy casual games his entire life, goes into ranked and shoots through the bottom four ranks and thinks, "Oh, I'm a fucking G. I'm the best there ever was." No. You're a casual gamer who is moving through the other casual gamers presenting themselves as ranked players. I don't have very many problems with casual gamers. I was a casual gamer for a long time. I still partake in some forms of casual gaming. I'm not always playing ranked. I'm not always trying to pull my hair out and shave my eyebrows with every game, I promise. But I do consider myself a ranked gamer or professional gamer or however you want to deem it. And my biggest problem are people who don't understand that there isn't an I in team. There are so many people who seem to have forgotten that these are team games, that you can't do everything by yourself. Yes, there are moments in games like Siege or Fortnite or Overwatch or Rivals or really any game out there, that one golden goose perfect moment where you can 1v5, you can 1v6, you can 1v whatever, you can get it done. But when that happens to people, they tend to add that little block to their ego. And they never climb back down. They never reset that. They never let the ego block go away. When quite honestly, your ego should dissolve and you should be standing on top of your own skill level. A lot of times, people will climb and climb and climb and get better and better and better. And then they'll run into that moment where they have like the golden goose egg, the 1v versus their entire team, and they win. And then instead of saying, "Oh, it was my skill level here that allowed me to do this," they say, "It's my skill level here that allowed me to do this." And if that makes any sense. They use their ego to build up so high that they end up becoming a shitty teammate. They end up becoming that one guy that nobody wants to play with because he thinks he's good at every game, when in reality, he's just as mediocre as everybody else on the team. I hate to say it, not everybody is a top 500 player. You got to remember that only like 1.2 to 2.2 to 3.7, somewhere in those numbers, people get top 500. Out of everybody who's playing these games, not everyone can be top 500. That's why it's called top 500. But these people build their egos as though they live in the top 500 category, but they're playing in my Platinum 2 game. It gets hard. And their egos begin to carry them into this, well, if they're not going to listen to me, then I'm not going to play the game right. Oh, I can't play Star-Lord? Well, guess what? We're going to lose because I can't play Star-Lord. Oh, they banned my operator in Rainbow Six Siege. Well, now I'm going to play the most useless operator that I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, my hero got banned in Overwatch. Well, time to throw and play a character that I've never touched before. And it happens time and time and time and time again. And so what I want to end up doing is showing people that if you bind together with a team, regardless of anything you're doing, not just in the world of video games, if you grab a team and you surround yourself with people with the same skill level or higher, and you put in the work, you truly can become what your ego presents you as. Okay? Ego isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, people treat it as ego is like their permanent skill. They do something really good, and now all of a sudden they think that everyone who was just right here with them is now here or even higher, you know? And it creates this false suction, this false power vacuum that doesn't even need to exist. And as this ego player is moving higher and higher and higher and higher, the power vacuum is getting longer and longer and longer and longer, which makes the other players on your team perform worse. Because they're always worrying about what the egotistical maniac is going to do. They're always worried about playing in a 4v5 because they know the ego is going to push and try to recreate their golden goose moment. And it's starting to become horrid, right? Just to give you a fresh example, I was playing ranked yesterday in Marvel Rivals. I was having a lot of fun. We were winning games back to back to back, and we were doing good. And then we run into a game where I think the enemy team was running a Hela. And if you're not familiar with Marvel Rivals, Hela sits in the back line, two-shot headshots people, and can revive a tank if she kills somebody. Like, she's a pretty good character. She has solid escapability if you can time her bird right. She has insane damage output, right? So we have a Hela on the enemy team. And then I'm not sure at what point in the game, but this guy decides that he is going to play, I believe it was Storm. He started playing Storm. And while Storm is a great character, she recently got a buff. She attacks faster. She does more damage. The output is greater. The Storm did not want to change because of his ego. And we ended up losing the game because every time the Storm would come out of spawn, Hela would two-shot him in the back. He would die. And suddenly we were in a 5v6 trying to push this point. And it just wasn't going to happen. Now, if the player had removed his ego and said, Hela's in the back. She's really good. I'm flying in the air, making myself a distinguished target for her sniper-like abilities. Let me switch to a different character. Let me find a way to go and kill this Hela so that she's no longer a problem. Instead of doing that, he decided to play Storm the entire fucking game, and then we lost. And granted, while you can get that elo back and it's not the end of the world, it's like I would have liked to win that game because I was doing everything in my possible power to win. My team was doing everything in their possible power to win. All 5 of us were working as a team. We're fueling team ups. We're pushing team fights. We're healing. We're doing the whole game. And then you have the Storm, who refuses to change, but is constantly getting diffed by the Hela in the back line. And it pisses me off. So, moving forward, if you've made it to the end of this video, just remember, you're not all that in a bag of chips. You may have these plays that set you up to where you think that you are the God among men. And granted, it is okay to celebrate those plays. It is okay to say, yeah, I did good there. I used my skill at this level to beat these guys at this level. But when your head gets inflated and you start to think that you're a god among men, that's when I have problems. So, I said all of that to turn around and then say this. Casual gamers, keep being casuals. Or go to ranked. It doesn't bother me at all. Do what you find to be the most fun. But when you get into my ranked games, and you come with a sense of ego, and you come with a sense of pride, back it the fuck up, or lower your ego, because I'm tired of losing to people who don't understand. There isn't an I in team. That's pretty much everything I have to say. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and I'll try to have more videos out. I mean, I will, most likely. But yeah, have a good one. Appreciate you.